Hey everyone, it's Beth here with another take and make project for you. So if you've already been to the library, excuse me, if you've already been to the library and you are watching this live as we do this on Monday night at 7, yay, you've got all your supplies, you're ready to go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is plug in my iron while we chit chat. So don't mind me, I'm still here. Here we go. So I just plugged in my iron so you can see how fast everything warms up and how easy it is to do. I'm not going to prep and do it ahead of time. So plug it in the iron on the cotton setting so it gets really hot, and make sure you don't have any water in your iron. That's really going to make this a lot harder than it needs to be. So take and make beeswax wraps. I don't know about you, but I should be a lot more environmentally conscious, right? And I also should watch my wallet. So this is a way to do both of those things. We use a lot of plastic today. It's become very mainstream. Plastic food containers, plastic wraps, plastic baggies, plastic. And if you know or have attended any of my children's programs that I do, I've actually read a whole story about the pout fish and plastic in our water. It's a real problem, and I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but I'm just going to say Take and Make is about giving you alternatives and different ideas and different things to do. So I really like what Jenny's done for us this time on giving us this Take and Make craft that actually is really timely and goes along with what we're trying to do. And that's just be more resourceful, make the most of what we have, and do it in a fun and unusual way. So to get started, I plugged my iron in and I'm going to get a towel here. And I'm going to turn my camera down so you can see what I'm working on. Now I did this to try and make one beforehand so I'd know what I was doing when I met with all you folks. And I did it on my ironing board, but I kept my finished piece really big because I wanted a big one and I didn't necessarily want to cut it down. So it didn't quite fit on my ironing board. It was literally right to the edge, and I wanted a little more room to play. So we'll come back to that one. But for now, I'm gonna open up my towel. Yay, Bearcats. And get some work done here. Now, Jenny's put some really cool pieces of fabric in there for us, and I am totally loving these colors. I don't know if you can see it great in the camera. It looks kind of navy. It's actually kind of tealy. That's the word we're going with. And I love that. So you're going to take your piece of parchment paper and lay it down. And you can use more than one if you need to. You can do the entire thing and make your wax wrap and then cut it down like we have written in our instructions. But since I have this salvage, that is the end, I don't need this, and I don't want to waste my wax on it. Now I have regular sewing shears, and then I have pinking shears. And these are nice because with that little edge on them, it makes it so the fabric won't fray. So I'm going to go down just really quickly, trim off that salvage edge. And I might just neaten up, since I'm already cutting, neaten up the other edges. Again, there's no right or wrong. I mean, it's yours, and you know best what your needs are. So make them when it's all big, cut them down to size if you have a specific task or a specific thing you know you want to use your beeswax wraps for. Some specific thing you want to be able to wrap, or if you just want them for anything, but you know your lifestyle better than anyone else. So now I have trimmed this down, got my neat edges, got away from those frayed spots, so we won't have to worry about that. And I've been a little remiss. I should have said right from the get-go, I washed my fabric. I came home and washed it. I've done iron on things and different things before and not had good luck with transfer staying on or my products staying the way I had thought that they were finished. I don't know that that is necessary with these wraps. I read different Pinterest posts and got on a board and read stuff, and people have done it both ways. And some people say they have no trouble, and some people say they always wash their fabric. So whatever way you want to do it. I think I'm going to cut mine up in the end so it'll make little ones. But I'm going to iron it on big because as much as I don't like to follow rules, I'm going to follow Jenny's instructions. So I'm just going to layer 2 pieces so it'll fully cover. And then we have this bag. Ooh, glare from our light. We have this bag. It's about 2 tablespoons of beeswax and a jojoba oil. Now, Jenny got a huge box of the beeswax. I think she said it was like 8 cups of beeswax. And she just added 2 to 3 tablespoons and wasn't exactly, 100% accurate with that measurement. Jenny's a little like me. We put the 2 and then we sprinkle a little bit and hey, that's good. So somewhere between 2 and 3 tablespoons. And now I'm gonna dump it all out. I know you're a little horrified. And I'm gonna leave just a little bit in my bag. And I want to spread this around. You don't want it lumped in one specific area. And they do really spread out as you melt them. The first time I made anything like this, I thought, oh, I really have to have more. I need more. I needed more chips. I needed more this. And you actually don't. It looks like you will. I'm just going to move some of these because they're sticking to my cloth, which is great because I know it's really going to take. But I need to spread out a little bit. A lot there. I thought by dumping it, I would not get waxy fingers. I was wrong. Let's see if I can move this very carefully so you can see maybe. It kind of blends right in with our material, doesn't it? Next, we take another layer of parchment paper and lay it right on the top. And now we're going to iron away. I put my hand down to hold everything until it starts to melt. And then your parchment paper slides a little easier. I'm going to see if I can bring this closer even. I don't know with all our lighting in here. If you can really see, but you can see it's a little darker. And that's the liquid. That's the actual melted beeswax. I'm going to wiggle and set it. I don't want to burn anything, but I want to move that melted beeswax around so it gets as much of my fabric as I possibly can. Actually, go right to here without the 2 layers. Work smarter, not harder, right? I find I make things harder on myself. Oh well. And then this last half. Ooh, that was tough. Be careful. Be more careful than I am. All right. I think I've got stuff melted pretty good. So once you've gone over it, I'm going to keep trying to work this wax into all the fabric. And once you've gone over it and you think it's pretty melty, I just like to smooth over. Now my iron's really able to move. You can tell those little wax pearls have melted. I'm going to pull my top parchment paper off. That's so cute because I want to give it a good look. Now, a couple spots. And it's not going to show here, I don't think. This is pretty wet with the beeswax. And then the color change, it's a little lighter in here. So anywhere where it's a little lighter and I can tell it's not wet, right? It's not wet with my little waxy pearls here. Anytime I have a spot like that, I'm just going to put a few, drop them here and there. So we can share the love all over. It's pretty good. It's a very cool feeling too. I don't know if you're already familiar with beeswax wraps or alternative wraps. I know as a kid we would occasionally get things in wax paper at lunch, and we always knew we had run out of baggies. But these work actually a lot better or a lot easier than that because you don't have that crinkling, and sometimes the wax would almost peel off the paper. And these I've not found to be true. I'm going to lay my parchment paper back down, and I'm going to make sure that I have the waxy side, the side that got all the wax on it, down, because I've had to clean my iron already once while playing with this. And I'm going to lay it back down, and like I said, I set it down so it gets the heat concentrated, but wiggle it a little bit. And then slide it off. A few wayward guys. Get those back up there. And like I said, those little waxy pearls kind of fade right in. So just giving it a once over. There we go. And in that quick a turnaround, we've made our own beeswax wraps. Now, I'm going to set this guy aside to cool and bring back our prefab. So this is the one I've already made. I didn't trim it. I didn't do anything. I didn't cut my edges. And you can see, hold it down here against my table. You can see these rough edges, right? I washed it and left it, and there's some little rough tattered edges. So I'm just going to clean those up. And again, I really like pinking shears. I like that little roughly edge. So I'm going to finish my edges. Like so. And here on this one, admittedly, because I got right to the edge of that ironing board, not all my edges were completely covered in the beeswax. So this part actually is very helpful for you to do that cleanup and trimming of it afterwards, like Jenny suggests in our instructions, because now I'm able to get rid of that, I'm going to call it just a little dead edge there, where there is no beeswax, no protection for the cloth, and it won't really work as well without that. So here we have the first of many, I hope, beeswax wraps for you to make at home. They're so versatile, easy to work with, easy to contain and store. And now, really, all that's left is for you to decide, what do you want to wrap up first? Isn't that so cool? So easy. Jenny, I think you hit it out of the park tonight. I really am sort of taken with this. I was like, okay, beeswax wraps, but there's something just so gratifying. Plugging that iron in, it heats up like that. I trim the edge, I throw it on some parchment paper, voila, life got simpler for me. That's a wrap. So If you're looking for books on more ways to be more environmentally friendly, here's another great book. It's in our new book alcove at both locations. You could put it on hold. You could buzz in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. Take a look. This is also an item that will be found in homes at the branch or in the 600s at the main location. So if you want more books like this, 600. So it's always important to know the Dewey and to go to that area. I hope you had a great time tonight with me making some beeswax wraps. I really hope that this adds to not only your enjoyment of doing your own thing and beautifying your home and being a little crafty, but just being able to pull out something and make something different and unique to you. You guys, I hope you have a great night and that you have an even better tomorrow. And I'll see you in a couple weeks with a new amazing Take and Make craft.